This isn't a fix your life self-help type episode. I still feel terrible from time to time. This is just stuff that genuinely makes me feel better on a daily basis. From being smart with money, food stuff, moving your body, and a bunch of other things. And honestly, some stuff I'm still trying to figure out. That's what I want to talk about today. Take what you want, leave the rest. First thing I want to say is I do want to set some ground rules for this list. I don't want this to come off too preachy or give you guys any type of impression that I have it all figured out, because I definitely don't. And I would be completely lying if I sat here and told you I do all of these things all the time, militant, 10 out of 10, never miss a day, and I don't do anything bad. I still have a ton of bad habits I'm trying to figure out, but this is genuinely some stuff that has helped me. And some kind of rules for this list is all these things I talk about. If you want to put them into practice, or if you feel like they inspire you to do something of your own that is similar, just remember you don't have to do this stuff perfectly. Let's say you're setting some kind of habit to like work out every day, or eat a certain amount of protein, or work on a craft that you want to get better at, right? Draw every day, stuff like that. If you miss one day, don't let that be a failure. I know the world with apps and dot journal tracking and all that has really optimized us to have that like gaming mentality about everything, but there is no streak. There is no reward for doing stuff 100 times in a row. 99 and missing one day is all right also. And this stuff compounds though, even though the benefits of doing stuff a million times in a row doesn't matter from like a record or streak standpoint. That stuff does compound. It does get easier, and the small wins matter, just as much as you shouldn't be upset when you miss one day, or you mess up, or you fall back on some kind of thing that you were trying to be disciplined about, especially with the new year right now. That's the things that people are taking serious with the resolutions and things. The small wins matter, and these small failures don't matter so much. And that maybe sounds contradictory, but the thing is, we get to make the rules. So anyway, let's get into it. The first thing I genuinely do to feel less terrible all the time is I try to move my body at least once every day. And now this doesn't have to be some kind of extreme workout. This doesn't have to be CrossFit. This doesn't have to be weightlifting. This doesn't have to be something that is high stress on your body. But humans were made to move. And I know you've probably heard this kind of shit before, but especially someone like me who sits at a desk, at least half the day at the very least, with between playing video games and working on design work and editing and stuff like this, I'm sitting a lot. And I don't think humans in the history of time were meant to sit this much and be this sedentary. So I really have to go out of my way to move, right? And for me, things that I found that benefit me is stretching, like just actually trying to get more flexible and stretch in the morning and stretch at night. And I haven't been too disciplined with this, but it genuinely makes me feel better, especially with all this shrimp back pain I get from hunching over laptops and desks. And another thing I do is walking. I try to either walk in the morning or at night after work. Either way, I think it really helps not only get you moving and get those steps in. And this doesn't have to be extreme, right? You can walk around your neighborhood. It's a lot more fun when I lived in LA than in the suburbs, but you can also get the benefits of walking in your mind, right? It feels fucking nice to just walk around and think and enjoy the day. And hopefully you're in a place, that has good enough weather for that right now. And then climbing. Climbing has been one of the biggest things that I've really enjoyed the last year and a half, 2 years. And it's just such a cool sport and such a good way to exercise, because it's completely scratch that itch in my brain of gamifying the workout. And it's really cool to level up, get to the V4s, V5s, V6s. Like that's when you start really getting into where you can talk to other people at the gym and have like kind of a community in that way. And the people at the climbing gym are so supportive. It's awesome. And then the days I don't do climbing, I probably do some small body weight workouts at the house, like kettlebell, push ups, stuff like that. And then I try to do the sauna. And I don't know, just moving around each day really clears that brain fog, helps with anxiety, helps me just feel a lot better. And it's funny because you hear this stuff all the time, right? Eat better, move your body. And when it works and when you do it and you feel better, you're like, fuck, what do you know? Like, it actually works. And that's kind of the worst part because you know it's going to benefit you, but it's still hard to stay disciplined sometimes. So speaking of that, the second thing is eat good food and take vitamins. And I say take vitamins lightly. You know, this isn't medical advice or whatever, but a lot of people aren't getting all the nutrients we need, especially me. So I try to supplement that with supplements. And this, you know, this isn't dieting advice or anything like that. Eat enough food. Don't restrict yourself. Don't be too anal about calorie counting, any of that shit. I don't do any of that. My rule is just to have some kind of basic respect for my body. Try to eat good most days, right? Food affects your energy and your mood and stuff like way more than I think we like to admit. So for me, at least on the weekdays, I try to eat pretty healthy. My wife makes food most of the times for dinner, and I try to eat some kind of relatively healthy meal prep for lunch. Breakfast is kind of a shitty because I'm always so, I don't know why I'm in a hurry. I work from home and I work for myself, but I feel this sense of urgency to get into my workday because I'm kind of impatient and excited. So I usually just eat like a protein shake and a banana or avocado or a bar or something. And yeah, it does feel good, but don't get me wrong, on the weekends, especially when I go out and drink and stuff, because bad decisions compound into more bad decisions. I eat a lot of fast food here and there. Like on the weekends, I eat a lot of junk. I love Red 40, you know. I love hot Cheetos, Takis, Turbos, anything like that Flamas flavoring. I love that, and it fucks my stomach up, but it's so good. So, you know, I try to balance it out, right? I do all that other stuff. So when I do that other stuff and act like a piece of shit, maybe it's not quite as bad, you know, maybe it mitigates it a little bit. And then for vitamins, there's mainly only three, like pills or supplements or whatever that I take, four actually. One will be, L-theanine, it's called. It's in like a lot of teas and stuff, like matcha and green tea and things. And it's kind of like this, has this symbiotic effect with caffeine. It smooths it out. It removes that tweak a little bit from the caffeine and that kind of strung out like anxiety feeling. So if you ever feel like you want caffeine or you want energy, but you're not, you get a little too riled up from it, try doing that. Take the pill with the coffee. I do magnesium at night because I grind my teeth a lot. My brain's always running. I used to have trouble sleeping because I couldn't kind of turn off my brain. So I've been taking this magnesium glycinate, it's called. That's been pretty cool. It helps relax your facial muscles. So that helps with the grinding nonsense. And I have a mouth guard and shit. I don't need to go into that. It kind of calms you down for the night if you take it like 30 minutes before you want to go to sleep. And then I also been doing creatine. I know it's like a buzzword right now, right? Like creatine, because they're finding out this stuff isn't just for gym bros to get bigger, and it's not about just looking swole, but it's actually pretty beneficial to recovery and helping you train better and be stronger. But they're finding out all this stuff. I get sucked into those health guru rabbit holes on YouTube, like Andrew Huberman and Rhonda Patrick and those people. And I've been hearing them talk a lot about how creatine has all these benefits for your brain, because your brain's a muscle, obviously, right? And if that helps retain water, having your brain and everything like hydrated, I'm sure is good. But creatine can help like improve your mental performance, and it can also recover up to 1 hour of lost sleep. And this is not to say I sleep less and do that to like over optimize my life and get everything done, but it's like a lot of times I don't get to sleep enough. So that's pretty cool if that works. But yeah, that's kind of that. And I try to take zinc or elderberry to not get sick. That's just that. And you don't have to do that all the time. Maybe if you're feeling kind of sick or here and there, but I kind of think it works. Maybe it's placebo, but placebo goes both ways. Sometimes I talk myself into thinking I'm not feeling good. Hopefully I can talk myself out of it too. This third thing is have a hobby that you don't monetize or turn into a job or turn into a career. I think this one is crucial, and in a day and age of the internet, and especially I have a huge problem with this. I'm preaching to myself here as well. Everything doesn't have to be content. Everything doesn't have to make money. Everything doesn't have to be a job. The point of hobbies and interests outside of your career or things that benefit you financially, they're there to help you unwind, to help you rest, to help you have fun, to help you play. And I think we live in a world where anytime someone has a hobby, and I've done this to people too. Oh, you're pretty good at guitar. That looks fun. You should start a band. You should do this, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you do ceramics, you make pottery. You should sell your own things. Go to the farmer's market, sell it here, start a business, go on Etsy. Like that seems to be the default, right? In this internet kind of entrepreneurial type world that we live in, but some stuff can just be fun, right? I've been trying my best to protect the few hobbies that I have, like religiously, with not monetizing them and not turning them into content. I mean, I already turned graphic design, which was my first love and hobby, into my entire career. And then the second thing I had was YouTube, and I've done that. That's why, like, I have video games, right? It's one of my biggest hobbies still. And that's why I don't want to stream. I don't want to do video game content online, because I think I would do pretty well at it. And I'm pretty decent. Growing up an only child, I've been playing video games since I was like 3 or 4 years old. So I'm pretty good at most like online games, and I know it would ruin it though. I need that for myself. I need to go and stress out and play my MOBAs at night and just enjoy it for the love of climbing the ranked ladder, not monetizing it or making money. And then I already talked about this one, but I think I almost always in my life have two different types of hobbies. One that's more physical and about your body and community and out in the world, and then one that's more protected and for my mind and for myself. So yeah, I have like the video games for that inner one. And then the outside one I already talked about is climbing, right? I think they have an amazing community at the climbing gym that I go to. It's fun. I go with my friends too. It satisfies the first tip from this video too of moving the body. So that's cool. Those are my current ones, and I just think you have to, at the very least, if you have one thing you really enjoy, just protect it from capitalism at all costs and enjoy it for the love of the game. This fourth one is listen to music and go down the rabbit hole. And what I mean by that is everyone has their genres and niches of music that they like, and that's what's so beautiful about it. And the best part about finding new music, finding new artists, finding new songs is not only passively listening to it while you work or actively listening to it and putting on a record and listening to the whole thing. That's all cool. That's the point of it, right? Yes. But the best part for me too that I think is really fun is finding new bands, going down that rabbit hole, getting all the recommendations from these algorithms, learning more, looking at, like, I call this recreational research. I think it's like one of my hobbies also is just going hyperfixation on new stuff I find out. I mean, for me, the biggest genres I'm kind of into right now are probably hardcore and punk, as well as hip hop and all kinds of rap, and then like shoegaze and indie stuff, which is kind of adjacent to the hardcore scene right now. But man, yeah, like if you're not a fan right now of hardcore music, and if you've given it a shot and it's not for you, and you don't like heavy music or that alternative music, you don't like breakdowns, you don't like those riffs, like I get it, it's not for everybody. But if you haven't given it a shot, this is one of the best times we've lived in, I think, for hardcore music. Like the bands right now are so good. Go online on streaming or whatever and check it out at the very least. And I just think it's fun, right? it's fun to have a genre or a type of music that you really love and can participate in and be a part of the community of it. Like I love going to shows. That's probably one of the best parts about the hardcore scene as well, is that there's so many DIY shows. Even the bigger shows are really affordable. Like people spend thousands of dollars, right, to see Taylor Swift or whatever. I probably not even spent that much in my entire life going to hardcore shows because they're like $20, $15. And I don't know, it's just cool to like sometimes get one step further past that passive listening and lean into that mode of discovery and learning and just wanting to go down that rabbit hole and just connect with these artists who are putting out stuff that they feel is their interpretation of the world, and you get to consume it and create your own interpretation. And yeah, it's just cool. Music's sick, and this is not like a groundbreaking idea. I'm not trying to sound too pretentious, like you really gotta fucking listen to the music, man. It's not that. It's just it's something that's music is something that's really helped me in my life, and I feel like I also owe it back to the game to like really care about it and listen to whole albums and discover new artists and support smaller artists and just keep my ear open to new stuff and not be so turned down and get stuck in my ways of like what I already like. Number 5, this one's simple but real. Drink more water. Drinking water is like one of the easiest possible things you can do that has one of the best returns. It makes you feel better in every way. I used to get headaches all the time at school and shit. Granted, it was because I didn't wear glasses also when I needed them. But I would never drink water. Like I straight up don't think I drank water until I got to college. Like obviously in sports and when I was in wrestling and football and stuff, we drink water. But any recreational time I had, hanging out with friends out in the summer, I'd get a fucking Polar Pop Mountain Dew Voltage 44 ounces and drink that thing. Just pure sugar, pure caffeine, no water. And I'd be like, I don't know, why don't I feel so good? Speaking of that, I drink some water right now. But being dehydrated, I feel like just ruins everything. Gives you a headache, puts you in a bad mood. Your skin doesn't look as good. Your body doesn't feel as good. You're tired. And sometimes when you feel bad and you feel hungry and you have low energy, sometimes you just need water. It's not even food. Get yourself any of these bullshit water bottles, whichever one you identify with, the Nalgene's, the Awalas, Hydro Flask, or just get a Brita or something at the pad. I think the rule of thumb that I've heard that I kind of try to follow for like intake amount or whatever, if you want to get technical with it, is however much you weigh, you cut it in half, and then that amount in ounces. So let's say you weigh like 160 pounds. I don't know what that's in kilograms if you're listening somewhere else. You cut that in half, that'd be 80. So you drink 80 ounces of water. A gallon is 64. So a little more than a gallon, if that's your ratios, whatever. Wait. Yeah. I was like, did I mess that math up? I don't know. I want to do a little intermission, right? I think this is important because I don't just do good things, right? So I want to give you 5 bad things that I'm still kind of struggling with. I'm not optimized. I'm not doing all this stuff to a T every day. And there's still some stuff I'm working on. So 5 kind of bad habits or things I do that probably make me feel better in temporarily, but more terrible in the long run, are nicotine. It's probably my biggest vice. Hitting vapes and shit, pouches, cigarettes, whatever. You know, especially when you drink, right? That stuff compounds. You know, all those memes, like when you get that first sip of beer and it's the pack of cigarettes opening. I think as someone who has ADHD and is some level neurodivergent, that nicotine and that stimulant, caffeine, nicotine, all those kinds of stimulants really help like kind of ground me and make me feel better, even if it's temporary. I know that it's not good in the long run, but it is what it is, you know. But it's something I'm trying to kind of sort out. Too much caffeine, also. I'm on that. It's not that I don't drink a lot of caffeine quantity wise, like intake in one day. I'm not the person that's constantly getting more energy drinks, more coffee, but I almost never do it in the morning, or never not do it in the morning. Like I need that morning cup. Like I know it's bad because I'll be like to the middle of the day, if I didn't have my caffeine, I start getting that headache, and that can't be good. Drinking, that's something I do a little bit too much of, especially as I get older. You know, I go to Thursday trivia, drink there, probably drink on the weekend if me and my homies go out and do something. And when I hang out with other groups of people that aren't that way as much, it really makes me realize how kind of much drinking me and my friends be doing sometimes, because some people will tell me like, yeah, maybe like once a month or every couple months, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I'm like 2-3 times a week. So maybe that I should cut back on this year. Too much screen time, definitely am in that field. I think it's hard with the career I'm in and working online and stuff. Is it's even more addicting because not only do I have all the stuff to consume, but I have my own stuff to look at and reply to people and look at comments and consume that way. It's even more addicting. And then staying up late. It's so hard for me to not go to bed at least 1 a.m. Like I'm always staying up 1, 2, 3 a.m. and it makes getting up at 9 or 10, which was my ideal wake up time, a lot harder. It's dumb that I work for myself and a lot of times I'm not getting enough rest. So I need to sort that one out for sure. Anyway, back to the actual list. Number 6, one thing I do that I think is crucial for feeling better about yourself is wearing clothes that you genuinely like and wearing clothes that make you feel like you. And I know right now I'm just wearing a t-shirt and a hat, but like my wife made this hat for me and this shit's dope. Like I love this band Serena. I love these other bands that are on the patches. I love Minor Threat, you know, so even having a simple shirt on like that, I think having stuff that speaks to your identity and makes you feel good about yourself, it makes you connect with other people that like that type of stuff. I think that's what it's all about. Nothing is cooler, like nothing's more of a bro moment than when you meet a stranger that's wearing like a somewhat niche band shirt that you fuck with too, and you're like, that's just tight, you know, like I fuck with Serena. It's just like, it's such a stupid little pleasure that we get to have with being with clothes and like your identity and showing up the way you want to. And this can be anything, right? You can have that athleisure. You can be like into streetwear, high fashion. I have a lot of friends who have a lot of different styles, and that's the beautiful thing about it. But this shit genuinely makes you feel better if you wear comfortable clothes, wear stuff that helps you express yourself and helps people know what you're about and what you like. And it's not all that serious, you know? This doesn't have to break down to your identity. If you don't give a fuck about clothes, that's also what you're saying, right? You're like, whatever. And if that makes you feel good, that's exactly the same thing as someone who spends all the money on the high fashion stuff. But I think what it is feeling like yourself, feeling like you're your best version with the type of way that you're presenting yourself to the world and to back to yourself. You know, it feels good to feel good. And even working from home a lot, I wear a lot of sweats. I wear a lot of basketball shorts. I'm in like relax mode a lot. But even something as simple as putting on legit pants and a legit shirt and sitting down at your desk puts you in this different work mode, gives you a little bit more confidence. Putting on real shoes just kind of feels nice compared to wearing Crocs or sandals all day. And just, you know, find things that you like. Dress for you. Don't worry about trends. Don't worry about what other people fuck with. Just figure out the things that make you feel like dope. And that's what it's all about. If you feel better about yourself, you're probably going to go around the world treating other people better too. And maybe you'll connect with someone based on that, right? Based on the vibe that you have or whatever you want to call it. All right, number 7, use a calendar. This is kind of a boring one, but I use a calendar for absolutely everything. Work, play, fun, sad stuff, good stuff, whatever. And this might be just how my brain's wired, but if this works for you, then I think it's worth trying out. I use Google Calendar personally. I brain dump everything, right? And I have a color coding system for all the things. But the reason it's cool, I think to have all this stuff out there is it helps reduce that mental clutter. These digital calendars are optimized so you can move everything around. It's never too rigid. You didn't write it down with, concrete Sharpie. And I like to just see how my days planned out. And this may sound like over planned, but what I've kind of learned is when you have these strict, maybe not strict, when you have these timelines that you've set out for yourself, it actually isn't restricting. It opens up more time for freedom because you know where everything slots. I have my 7 p.m. Thursday night trivia at the brewery locked in, so I can move stuff around that, right? If I'm going to a concert, throw that in there. Hanging out with a friend on Saturday at 9, why not throw it in the calendar around all your other work stuff? And it's cool to look back and see all the fun shit that you were hopefully able to do throughout the year. And then you're never in that moment where someone asks if you're busy one day and you say yes and you're double booked, and then it's like, oh, I can't now, something, no, that type of thing. But I don't know. And it's also just cool to have your work life planned out. As someone who works from home and works as an independent creative and has a lot of different things going on, I'd be screwed without a calendar. Like it also just works as like a to-do list or my reminder to post stuff online. My homie Ethan was laughing because I sent him a picture of my calendar one time, and at the bottom it says take the trash out. I have to do that every Monday. I have to go put roll the trash cans out right to the street. And he was like, what do you put in there? Like smoke a cigarette too? And it's like an hour time slot. And anything that is short, I put in an hour time slot, and they'll be like stacked on top of each other. I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but it's just cool and it's also just cool to have hobbies and fun stuff to look forward to and to look back on. So try it out, Notion, Google Calendar, any of those. Preferably something that can connect to your phone and computer and other places you are, so you can always kind of edit it. All right, number 8. This one's simple. Treat yourself and your partner well. And if you don't have a partner right now, then treat yourself well. If you're partnered, that care compounds, right? Like I have at times not treated myself or my partner the best, and you get in bad moods. You're a dick. You're short. You're not feeling maybe good about yourself or things going on in the world, and you reflect that energy into some of your best friends or into your partners or whatever. And that stuff's reciprocated. If you treat people how you want to be treated, the oldest fucking line in the book, it does work out. And if people are still treating you bad, then that's on them. You can only focus on the things that you're able to control. And I don't know, it's like it feels good to have someone to care about and treat good and treat yourself good. And if you're not in any type of relationship right now, then I think it's important for you to treat yourself like someone you would love and someone that you would respect. And if you can't do that for yourself, it's going to be really hard for you to do that for someone else. They always say, you got to love yourself before you can love someone else. And I think that is really true. And a lot of people get into things that they don't have the capacity for or whatever. And, the future you really benefits, whether you're by yourself right now or partnered or in between, whatever, with how you treat yourself and these people. And it's always going to be better to just choose the kind and caring and understanding route. And I'm still struggling with this. I get into so many arguments. I don't let shit go. I let anxiety get the best of me. But, we're trying and we're working on it. And I'm trying my best to treat myself the best so I can treat the people that I love the best. And number 9, now into the business. Being smart with money. That's kind of the simple thing. And what I mean by that is being smart, but not staying in this survival mode that I've talked about in the last episode, right? Like being frugal and penny pinching and making sure everything is in order because I didn't have a lot. That helped me at a lot of times. making sure people Zelle you the $4 that they owed you, or going to the cheapest food places to save money so you can go out that weekend. That stuff did save me. But eventually, when you have your money in order and you're a little more stable, that can turn to fear, and that can make it so you're really not even enjoying the life that you're trying to build for yourself. But not to say you should start wasting. A few smartest things of money that I've learned is don't let lifestyle inflation take you over. If you make $50,000 one year and your expenses are $20,000, you have $30,000. If you make $100,000 and you increase your expenses to $70,000, you still only have $30,000 left over. So it's important to, like, as you earn more income, I think, to not let your expenses get out of control, so you actually have more of a safety net. You have more to lean back on. You have more to go on trips and do little fun stuff here and there instead of ordering DoorDash for every single meal. Another habit that I've found that helps is saving, retirement, investing. If you're an individual freelancer or someone who works for themselves like me, look into a Roth IRA, get that sorted out. I think it'll be worth it in the long run. Have that compound interest work for you. What I think is a good rule with them is 3 months of rent saved up and a safety net of at least that amount of whatever your rent is, or 3 times whatever, for any of these other unexpected things. You get hurt, you got to fix your car. You should sort that out before you start buying the lavish shit. But then, on the contrary, if you got that, if you're doing well, fuck yeah, like, good for you. I'm happy for you right now. But don't let that same frugal mindset that got you there restrict you from enjoying the fruits of your labor. And that's kind of the zone I'm in right now. I'm not fucking loaded. I'm not super rich, but I'm doing better than I ever have. So yeah, let's go to a nice dinner. We got the saving, so let's go to a concert. Let's have fun. You know what? I want that cool little gadget to sit on my desk. I'm going to buy it. You know, like shit like that. And it's just not crazy. Like, I just bought a nice old truck that I've been wanting. It's cheaper than what most people spend, like, on a boring crossover SUV hatchback from 2023 that they're financing or leasing for $500 a month for whatever reason. Like, that's another one. Don't have a lot of reoccurring payments that you don't need. If you have to pay $500 to $800 a month on a car payment, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to have all these reoccurring expenses that aren't that important. Buy an old Corolla that shall last forever. Anyway, yeah, build good habits with money, and if they're no longer serving you, let them go and enjoy the new habits that you can form and build, and the new standard that you're setting for yourself. This last one's therapy. I went probably, how old am I? I'm 20. I'm unk, bro. I'm 28, but I went till I was 27 without going to therapy and not really thinking. Actually, for 2 years, I thought I should probably do it ever since around 24, 25. But it took me that long to do it. If you feel like you've wanted to go to therapy or you want some mental health help, and it's hard to get past that next push, I know. I did that. And hopefully this can inspire you to do that. It's like, it's paralyzing sometimes. I get that. You don't even want to make the call. You don't want to do the research. Sometimes it's too expensive. I luckily found a place that takes my insurance. And even when I went to therapy for the first month or two, it was like I was going because I thought I was supposed to go. And I was doing the things that the therapist said, or buying into the system, like forcing myself to. But like anything, once you keep going, it compounds. And now I kind of really believe in that shit. And I think it really depends on the person and the type of therapy you're doing and all that. But man, it's not, knowing now, like, if anyone needed that shit, like, I was qualified, you know? I used to think it was like a sign of weakness or failure or a crutch, or it would just allow me to find all these problems I have with myself and not fix them. But that's not the case. I think it can be very beneficial, and it's not for everyone. And you got to test out the different people and this and that. But I think when you really get it locked into a nice routine, it's genuinely something that I look forward to on Tuesdays. And I only go in person. I don't like the Zoom call stuff, because after doing like hundreds of episodes of a podcast that was Zoom mostly and guest based, I know that there's that disconnect there. And when I'm fucking trauma dumping about like having a dead parent or, you know, a rough childhood or this and that, like big things, I don't want it to be like freezing on Zoom and shit. So I want the in-person thing. But yeah, I think it's cool because it really helps you unpack like these patterns about yourself and look yourself in the mirror and kind of look at it from an outside perspective and hopefully grow from it. In 2026, it's not like I'm so brave to admit I do therapy. I think that was like a machismo thing from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But like how Tony Soprano is all embarrassed to go. In 2026, he'd be like with Mel Fee on BetterHelp or some shit. But yeah, it's cool. If you think it's something that could help you, it probably can. And try it out. Bonus one. This is attached to all the other 10, and it's just give yourself grace. You're allowed to struggle with all these habits that you set for yourself. It's okay that they're hard sometimes. It's okay when they're easy. You don't need to fix everything all at once. If you have one New Year's resolution, just stick to that. Don't add 10 things, so it makes it hard to even do that one important one. The win for this is to just feel less terrible. You don't have to feel great. You don't have to be overly optimized human. You don't have to feel amazing all the time. It's okay to feel anger, sadness, despair, frustration, all that stuff. But if you want your baseline to feel a little bit better, hopefully some of that stuff will help. Hopefully you learned took something from what I'm saying. This isn't something I'm not trying to learn you or teach you, but giving you what I work with and what I think works, and take some of it, mix it up, do your own thing, whatever. And you don't got to be so intense about it. Don't David Goggins this shit. Consistency over time always beats intensity. You don't want something to burn you out because you're making it too hard for yourself. Show up, be consistent, do what works for you, listen to your brain, heart, your body, all that. Thank you so much for listening. You don't have to have it all figured out. I definitely don't. But some of these small changes can really help. And yeah, it really compounds. And I want all of us to live a little more fruitful life. So that's a wrap. Episode 3. Appreciate you for listening. And subscribe if you're on YouTube. Rate on Spotify, Apple, all that. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.